Hey Bears fans, we're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Chicago Bears. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. That way, you'll always stay up to date with breaking news and exclusive content. The sports world is absolutely buzzing this morning after a stunning revelation. The Chicago Bears have reportedly confirmed the arrival of none other than TJ Watt. Yeah, you heard that right. The defensive powerhouse, the relentless edge rusher who has terrorized quarterbacks for years, is heading to the Windy City. Fans are losing their minds. Analysts are scrambling to check the details, and the rest of the league is collectively gulping because this move, if it's really locked in, changes the entire balance of power in the NFC. For a team that's been trying to rebuild its identity around toughness, grit, and a return to the old monsters of the Midway vibe, bringing in what feels like a declaration of war. It's not just a signing, it's a statement. You can almost feel the pulse of Chicago rising, the anticipation for what this could mean for a defense that's already on the rise. Everyone's asking the same question. How did this even happen? The Bears weren't even in most conversations about what, and yet, somehow, they've pulled off what could be one of the biggest coups in recent NFL history. The ripple effects of this announcement are already being felt across the league. It's not just about adding a superstar. It's about what kind of message this sends to the rest of the NFC. The Bears have been quietly building, drafting smart, adding key young pieces, but nobody saw this level of aggression coming. With what reportedly in the mix, suddenly that young defensive core has a leader, a mentor, and a proven game changer who can elevate everyone around him. The front office, long criticized for conservative moves and hesitant rebuilding, just flipped the narrative overnight. Social media is on fire. Memes, reactions, hot takes. Everyone's got something to say. And let's be honest, Wood isn't just any player. This is a guy who changes games by himself, who can tilt the field in his team's favor with a single play. The Bears just got themselves a living, breathing wrecking ball who thrives under pressure, and that's something this team has been missing for years. If you think about it, the timing almost feels poetic. The Bears have been chasing a spark, something to ignite their return to greatness. And here comes a player known not only for his intensity, but for his leadership, his presence, his sheer will to dominate. Imagine him lining up alongside a hungry, young front seven that's been desperate for a veteran presence. You can already picture the chaos that's coming for opposing quarterbacks. Fields might finally have the support on the other side of the ball that gives him breathing room to develop, to lead without having to carry the entire team on his shoulders. Chicago's front office seems to be all in, and this move screams ambition. For a franchise with such a storied history, adding a player like what isn't just a roster move. It's about legacy, about reigniting a fire that's been flickering for far too long. The city lives for defense, and now, defense just became their identity again. Now, of course, we got to talk about the money, because you don't just land TJ Watt without breaking out the big checks. Rumor has it the deal is massive, possibly one of the richest defensive contracts the Bears have ever handed out. But here's the thing, no one's really complaining. Chicago fans have been begging for a front office that's willing to spend, to take risks, to stop playing it safe. And if you're going to invest in anyone, what's the kind of player who justifies every penny? The leadership, the production, the culture impact, it's all there. You can almost hear Hallis Hall buzzing with energy, staff members grinning ear to ear, knowing this move will put the Bears back in every major headline. Watt's arrival doesn't just fill a hole. It transforms the entire locker room dynamic. Veterans will rally, rookies will learn, and opponents will fear. That's the TJ Watt effect, and now it belongs to Chicago. But even with the excitement, you can't help but wonder about what went on behind closed doors to make this deal happen. There have been whispers for weeks that Watt wasn't entirely happy, that maybe he wanted a fresh challenge, a new environment where he could lead and inspire rather than just maintain. Chicago apparently picked up on that energy and moved fast, reaching out, testing the waters, and somehow convincing him that this was the place to be. If those reports are true, it's a masterclass in timing and persuasion. The Bears knew they needed a statement piece, someone to shift the culture instantly, And Watt's reputation for discipline and intensity makes him the perfect fit. This isn't just about sacks and tackles. It's about setting a tone. Watt's presence means accountability, professionalism, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. It's the kind of intangible that can ripple through a team and change everything. And make no mistake, this changes expectations overnight. The Bears, who've been hovering in that awkward middle ground between rebuilding and competing, suddenly find themselves in the contender conversation. With Watt on board, the defense instantly ranks among the most feared in the conference. And you know what that means. The energy in Soldier Field is about to hit a whole new level. Fans who were cautiously optimistic are now dreaming big, imagining playoff noise, imagining rival quarterbacks sweating before they even take the field. What's moved to Chicago isn't just a roster update. It's a cultural earthquake, the kind that redefines a franchise. The Bears aren't whispering anymore. They're roaring, and the rest of the NFL better start paying attention because something serious is brewing in the Windy City. As the dust settles on the bombshell announcement, the conversations are turning toward what this means for the Bears' future trajectory. TJ Watt doesn't just bring skill, he brings credibility. For years, Chicago's been chasing that elusive blend of elite defense and consistent offense. And now the balance finally feels within reach. With Watt anchoring the pass rush, suddenly the secondary looks more confident. Linebackers play looser, and offensive coordinators lose sleep figuring out how to contain him. He's not just a player, he's a gravitational force. Every scheme, every snap, every blocking assignment bends around him. That kind of impact can't be measured by stats alone, it's psychological. Opponents feel him before they even see him. And for a Bears franchise built on pride, history, and bruising defense, what feels like a spiritual homecoming, a throwback to the kind of football that defines the city's DNA. It's almost poetic how one player can make an entire fan base believe again. Of course, there's skeptics, there always are. Some are already pointing out Watt's age, the injuries, the mileage on his body after so many high-intensity seasons. They're saying this could be risky, that the Bears might be paying for past glory rather than future performance. But you know what? That's what great franchises do. They bet big when the moment calls for it. And this moment, right here, feels like it's worth the gamble. Watt's still playing at an elite level, and his preparation is second to none. If anyone can sustain excellence beyond the supposed prime years, it's him. He's meticulous about his body, obsessive about training, and fiercely competitive. He doesn't just want to play, he wants to dominate. And Chicago, with its blue-collar mentality and passion for defense, gives him the perfect platform to keep proving everyone wrong. The skeptics can talk, but the city's already sold. Behind the scenes, you can imagine how fired up that locker room must be. Picture the young guys, hungry, ambitious, ready to prove themselves, suddenly sharing space with one of the greatest defenders of his generation. That's mentorship money can't buy. Watt's reputation isn't just about talent. It's about obsession, attention to detail, doing the extra work when no one's watching. And that mentality? It spreads. When a guy like Watt walks into the building, everyone sharpens up. Meetings get more focused, practices get louder, the tempo changes. It's contagious. Coaches know it, veterans feel it, and even the rookies who grew up watching his highlights will feed off it. If you're trying to build a culture of accountability and winning, this is how you do it. Not through slogans or speeches, but through presence. What is that presence? And the Bears just infuse their team with a living embodiment of that old-school football fire. And let's not forget the fan side of this. Chicago fans are among the most loyal and passionate in the league. But let's be real, they've been through heartbreak. They've watched rebuilds stall, drafts misfire, and seasons collapse under pressure. This, though, feels different. Watt's arrival has reignited something deep within the fan base. A sense that maybe, just maybe, this time it's real. You can already imagine the roar of Soldier Field when Watt makes his first sack in that navy and orange. The chants, the flags, the energy, it's going to be electric. For a city that bleeds football, this kind of hope means everything. Watt brings more than sacks and stats. He brings belief. And in sports, belief can change everything. Suddenly, Chicago's dreaming again, and it's not some distant fantasy. It feels tangible. It feels now. That's the magic what brings. There's also a sense that this move puts pressure on everyone else in the organization to step up. When you add a player of Watt's caliber, excuses go out the window. The coaching staff has to deliver, the front office has to keep building smartly, and the players have to match his intensity. You don't bring in a generational talent just to see what happens. This is win-now energy, and it's going to demand results. The NFC North isn't a cakewalk. The Lions are surging, the Packers are unpredictable, and the Vikings always hang around. But with Watt leading the charge, the Bears have planted their flag. It's a new era, one built on aggression, swagger, and no-nonsense football. If everything clicks, this could be the spark that turns potential into legacy. And you can bet every rival is watching, realizing that a sleeping giant might have just woken up. At the end of the day, whether this move leads to a championship or just a cultural reset, it's undeniably one of the boldest decisions the Bears have made in years. TJ Watt in Chicago isn't just a transfer. It's a headline that rewrites the narrative of a franchise long defined by almost. It signals intent, hunger, and a refusal to accept mediocrity. Maybe this is the beginning of something special, the moment future fans will point to and say, that's when everything changed. For now, though, all anyone can do is watch the buzz grow, the anticipation build, and the legend of what began a new chapter in one of football's most historic cities. The Windy City's got its new storm, and his name is TJ Watt. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The excitement isn't just limited to the field. It's already spilling over into every corner of Chicago. Local media outlets are running wall-to-wall coverage. Radio hosts can't stop talking about the potential impact, and even casual fans are suddenly glued to Bears news. Merchandise sales are predicted to spike. Social media mentions are exploding, and the chatter at bars and workplaces is all about TJ Watt's arrival. This isn't just a roster update. It's a cultural event for a city that eats, sleeps, and breathes football. The narrative is clear. The Bears are serious, and they're signaling to every fan, opponent, and analyst that they're no longer content with being middle of the pack. Watt's presence elevates expectations instantly, and you can sense the shift in energy. Suddenly, every snap feels more consequential, every defensive series more thrilling. People are speculating about Pro Bowl numbers, playoff implications, and even long-term dynasty potential. The buzz is infectious, and for a fan base starved for a headline-grabbing move, this is pure elixir. Strategically, the move makes perfect sense for the Bears, adding what not only strengthens the pass rush, but also opens opportunities for creative defensive schemes that can confuse opponents and maximize the talent on the roster. Coordinators now have a weapon that demands constant attention, freeing up other defenders to make plays and creating mismatches across the field. Opposing offenses will have to adjust every game, constantly accounting for his presence, which can be psychologically draining over a season. It also changes the dynamic of the locker room in subtle but critical ways. Young players are inspired to raise their intensity, veterans are motivated to match his work ethic, and coaches suddenly have the leverage to push for higher standards. Watt isn't just a player, he's a force multiplier. And in a league where small advantages accumulate into massive outcomes, the Bears might have just found their X factor. Finally, the narrative around Chicago itself is undergoing a transformation. For years, the franchise has been in the shadows, quietly rebuilding while the headlines belong to other teams. Now, with Watt on the roster, the Bears are back in the conversation, not as hopefuls, but as serious contenders. This isn't just about the upcoming season. It's about sending a message to the league, to recruits, and to fans that Chicago is a destination for elite talent. Watt's decision to join signals confidence in the organization's vision and ambition. It reflects a front office willing to take bold risks and a culture ready to embrace excellence. The city is electrified, the locker room is buzzing, and the league is recalculating. If the first game with Watt is any indication, We're witnessing the beginning of a new chapter, one where Chicago's defense once again becomes the heartbeat of the franchise, and where TJ Watt's legacy takes on a new, Windy City dimension that could define the next era of Bears football. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.